Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luke Monster, and this is our weekly news recap. The series on the channel where we recap everything that's happened in the Star Wars The Black Series or Vintage Collection over the last week. And today we have some very exciting news with some brand new exclusive figures actually showing up at EB Games in Australia, so make sure to stick around so you don't miss out. First up, we do have this photo that was actually posted onto Yakface's Instagram story, but we do have official confirmation that the heads for both the Rebel Commando as well as the Hoth Rebel Soldier, the faces are not compatible to swap with each other. Now, we had pretty much already assumed this, but this is the first time we're getting detailed images of the back of the face, so you can actually see that the shape of the connector is different. So they did this on purpose so you couldn't swap out the face. Now obviously I think there is some like variation to where it wouldn't have worked anyway, but it's quite interesting to note that they didn't even try to make these faces compatible. So it's a little unfortunate, but at least now we know, and so don't go buying a bunch of Hoth Rebel soldiers thinking that you can swap them out with your Endor Rebel soldier, because it just won't work. Next up, Target is actually having a Summer Geek Out the Collection spot, is what it's fully titled, but it's kind of like Walmart's Collector Con, and it sounds like, according to Yakface and his description of this post, it sounds like there might be some Black Series reveals. No confirmations yet, but since they're doing this, we might get a Target exclusive Black Series figure this week. We'll have to wait and see, but I'll keep you guys updated if there is. And yeah, according to Yakface, he said pretty much how the Target exclusives have been going so far. He wouldn't even pre-order this one. He's going to try to pick it up in store. So quite interesting, and we'll have to see if there are any reveals this week. And real quick before we get into the next piece of news, if you have not yet subscribed to the gaming channel, we are almost 1,000 subscribers on the gaming channel, which is incredible. So if you haven't subbed yet, make sure you go check it out. It'll be linked down in the description. Anyway, back to the news. Next up, we actually did just step outside, so I do apologize if you hear some nature noises. But next up, we actually do have the Scout Trooper helmet. This is the brand new Black Series, I guess wearable prop is what like Hasbro kind of calls it, but this one is super cool. Really excited for this one. Considering that one of these retailers already has this thing early, I'm really hoping it means it'll start hitting stores pretty soon. Now, unfortunately, we don't have an official release date or any clue when this thing is officially supposed to hit stores, but again, I'm hoping it's pretty soon considering that we've already been seeing some people get it early. So I'm really excited about that. This one is a must pick up for me. I pick up all the Stormtrooper helmets that I can. I don't have every single one, but I have quite a few of them, and I'm a huge fan of the Scout Trooper's design, so this one is a must pick up for me. Next up, we do have a rumor report from Yakface, so make sure to go check out Yakface if you haven't already. He is linked in the description. But we do have a report that we do have 2 TVC figures for the Ahsoka show reported, which is kind of crazy. Ahsoka's coming out in August, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see a lot more rumor reports for figures, or even some Ahsoka's figures revealed for both Black Series and TVC. But these two are quite interesting for a rumor report because both of these characters did show up in The Mandalorian in Ahsoka's episode in season 2, and so because of that, I would imagine these would actually be Mandalorian characters rather than Ahsoka characters, but we'd have to see. Anyway, next up, we actually do have a report. This was posted onto Lanespeeder Luke's Instagram, so if you haven't checked out Lanespeeder Luke, make sure to go check him out. He does a ton of super cool stuff, but he did report from a fan of his stuff that the brand new Walmart exclusive Bad Batch Season 2 as well as the Jessie are showing up at EB Games in Australia, and even the Target exclusive Cod Vanth and Cad Bane 2-pack is showing up there as well, which is kind of crazy. So again, I wouldn't expect it to be too long before these ship out for US pre-orders. I believe the pre-orders are for August anyway, so like I said, it's right around the corner, but they are already showing up at EB Games in Australia. So for all my Australian fans, make sure to go check out your EB Games because you might get pretty lucky. And I do want to give a big shout out to Anthony501st for sending me some photos of these figures. He did just pick them up at EB Games in Australia, and he has a ton of exclusive photos for me to share with you guys today. Anyway, first up we do have Echo, and Echo does look pretty good, I gotta say. I don't think it's quite as good as his Season 1 look, but one thing that's really interesting about this character is that the knees are completely wrong to the original photos and glam shots of this guy released. So here's a photo of the original glam shot. It has these big, bulky, newer knees, and the figure actually released just has the standard clone knees. So quite interesting. I'm not really sure what's up with this, but it is false advertising because on the box it does show the original 3D render, which has the incorrect knees. So really interesting. I'm not sure what's up with this, but it is something to note if you are looking to pick up this figure. Next up is Tech here, and I gotta say, Tech looks really, really good. I'm pretty happy with how this figure came out, and I think the fact you can actually see through the goggles and see the eyes now is a huge improvement. Pretty interesting though. This photo here kind of makes it look like that the goggles are molded into the head of this figure, and they're not removable or detachable. So that's a little new. We didn't know that if that's the case, but according to this photo, it does look like it's like attached and molded to the head. Next up we have Hunter, and I gotta say, I don't have any complaints with this guy. Overall, he looks really, really good, and for the most part, I think this one is probably going to be the only pickup I get from the Season 2 squad, apart from maybe the Commando. Actually, I'll probably pick up a few of the Commandos. Maybe I'll pick up Tech, we'll have to see, but I'm definitely picking up Hunter. I think he looks the best out of the squad, and I'm really happy with how he came out. Next up, we do have the Commando, and I gotta say, I'm really happy for this guy. I know some people think he's a little plain, and I think that's awesome. He's supposed to be plain. He's a plain white Commando, so really happy about that. Unfortunately, he still has the really tiny blaster, which is completely inaccurate, but a look at the new Wrecker figure. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any photos of Wrecker, but I do have photos of his blaster here. And as you can see, it is a much bigger blaster. They did scale it up for the Wrecker figure, which is incredible because I think this blaster would scale much better with the Commandos that we've gotten already in the line because it's an accurate scale blaster compared to the little itty bitty tiny one that we've already got. That one sucks and it is not accurate at all. So hopefully this bigger scale Wrecker blaster is going to do a lot of justice. But there are a few things that kind of upsets me about this. One, they waited to do this until after we already have all 4 of Delta Squad with the tiny blaster molds. All of them have unique molds too, with like the sniper or the heavy artillery attachments, all of them with that smaller base body like mold. So it's kind of a shame that we're not going to get any of those figures with the 2-scale blasters. But another thing that really annoys me is that the Commando, which releases at the exact same time as Wrecker here, doesn't have that bigger blaster either. It just has that original tiny one. So I think the least they could have done is swapped it out and gave both of them the bigger blasters, but unfortunately they didn't, and I gotta say, it's a real shame. So I mean, what you might have to do is if Wrecker ever goes on clearance, pick up a few Wreckers just for the blasters, and then you can swap them out, but that seems a little expensive and extreme, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just really glad they went ahead and actually fixed the inaccurate mold. I'm just hoping they actually use it on other Commandos. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, the like button and subscribe. And if you do want to support the channel in other ways, make sure you go down, hit that like button, and hit that join button to become a channel member. Channel members get exclusive name badges of clone troopers, which actually change the longer you're a member to become cooler, which is super cool, as well as you get exclusive emojis. So if you do want exclusive emojis you can only use in the Lukeness Monster chat, make sure to go and hit that join button down below. It helps out the channel a lot, and it is the #1 way to support the channel. Anyway, guys, it's going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, the like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.